Excellent. Well, welcome to the session number 5 of the Social Media and Advanced Internet Marketing course from Health Connections. There we go. Today we're going to focus on LinkedIn and Facebook. So, when we're using LinkedIn and Facebook strategies, I'll just give an overview now of some of the things that will help us accomplish. First of all, these are two of the hottest properties out there, and so therefore you will be where people are spending their time, particularly their downtime or their search time or time that you might not normally be able to access when they're at work, etc., etc. It also will help you ensure that you're a recognized authority in your field or specialty, and this is both for a person as an individual and for a company. And it will help you improve your brand awareness and your reputation. It allows you to present a variety of information directly to your target audiences, because there are some differences in the target audiences for Facebook versus LinkedIn. So it's important to know that and to gear the type of communications and the frequency, et cetera, to the different audiences. Both of these sites also help you communicate different messages based upon the, I just said that, based upon the users of each medium. One really important thing is that LinkedIn and Facebook will allow you to identify any issues that people are having out there in your area of healthcare, any opportunities that might be out there either for you to give a talk or for you to help be an expert or seen to be providing some advice. It'll also give you a chance, as you glance through everything, to understand the trends that are going on. And really importantly is if there are any complaints in relationship to your organization or the service you're providing or things like that, it helps you find out about them and deal with them quickly. And as everything else, both LinkedIn and Facebook can become a search engine optimization opportunity for you and your website if you use it with the idea in mind of creating links back to your original website. So those backlinks again, which is great. So just to back up a second, besides LinkedIn and Facebook, there's all sorts of social media tools out there. And I mentioned this briefly before, but I thought I would go into it a little bit deeper today. But one place to find out about the top social media sites in the world is a website called Noam. And in this place, you can also kind of see if anyone has taken your own name or taken your company name and already started to use it or own it. But let's say your name was Mary Smith. The likelihood that someone else has taken the name Mary Smith is probably pretty high. But if not, then here's your chance to own it across all the different social media sites that exist out there on the internet. So they also give you the opportunity to get registered, potentially everywhere. So Noam allows you to check for the use of your brand, your product, your personal name, or your username instantly on over 550 popular and emerging social media websites. And then you can grab your name and secure your brand before someone else does. So the categories of websites that they have are websites around blogging, bookmarking, business, community, design, entertainment, health, information, microblogging, music, news, photo, tech, travel, and video. And I'm just going to take you there for a second. So here is where you can check to see. So if I enter in my name as an example, and you can see I've put in two different versions of it, one with spaces and one without spaces. So if I entered in the way I would normally write it and check my name, I can see where my name is still available according to them. Now, for instance, I know I have a Twitter account, but I didn't use spaces there. So again, I maybe didn't use spaces on LinkedIn, et cetera, et cetera. So you can see where it's available, and you can see where I've taken it already. And then it gives you all kinds of different names that would be available for purchase from a domain perspective. So if I just go back for a second, and let's just put in my name without spaces and search. So you can see which ones are available and which ones are taken. So for instance, Twitter is taken, LinkedIn is taken, which makes sense because I know I've taken those. The other thing, and what I was telling you before was Here's all the different sites. So you can look up, for instance, health and see which ones they're following, and then you could decide if you want to be on all those besides LinkedIn and Facebook, pretty much. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay, so when we're looking at social media tools, whether it be LinkedIn and Facebook or any other social media tool, it's really important to identify how that tool is used. What is its basic functionality, and therefore what service does it provide out to the world? So what service does it provide to you specifically? So as an example, Facebook, one of the services it provides is sharing pictures. But there's other services that also allow you to share pictures, so it's not just about Facebook and sharing pictures. It has other functionality as well too, which we'll talk about later. And then what services does it offer to others once you join? So once you start giving information to something like LinkedIn and you start telling people your job history and your expertise, et cetera, or you start talking about your company's products, then it allows people to search for it. So let's say someone's searching for a company that offers, I'll say mine, market research, healthcare, in the healthcare space. So if I can be found on LinkedIn, or if I can be found on Facebook for either by my company or by me personally for market research in healthcare, then that provides a benefit to someone else. Based upon me joining and giving information, I'm providing a benefit to someone else. Of course, in the end, if they hire me, then it's a benefit back to me again. So it's kind of circular, and which is why it's all called social media. You can also need to also identify how can you get backlinks to improve your search engine optimization through whatever social media tool you're using. And then also, can you and how do you advertise to its users? So those are kind of the foundational things that you need to think about when you're using any social media tool. So if we start first with LinkedIn and identify its uses. LinkedIn, here you can share your CV or resume information and related activities about your business life. You can find employees if you're a company. You can post jobs if you're a company. And if you're a recruiter or a company, you can research candidates. You can get backlinks from LinkedIn to your website by creating a group and within the group posting information. You can also get a backlink if you comment on someone else's post and you put a link in your comment. And your homepage on LinkedIn can also be a repository for your tweets, for things like SlideShare, for your travel plans, etc., which we'll get into later. And then in regards to advertising to users, you can advertise to people based upon their groups, their title, their industry, etc., and we'll look at all that later. So I'll just stop for a second. Any questions about that sort of framework and how you evaluate a social media website? Shall I take that as a no? So just to check. Okay, so let's move on then.
Oh,
Hi.
sorry.
That's okay.
Sometimes it freezes.
Okay. Did you have any questions so far?
Nope.
Okay, great. It's always good just to check and make sure I'm still online with you too. Something hasn't happened. Yeah. Okay, so LinkedIn, they quote, here's a quote from them, that each of our members has a unique story, but from finding a job to recruiting talent to sourcing new deals and even starting a business. So really there's lots of reasons why people use LinkedIn. So let's look at the statistics. LinkedIn, its growth rate is increasing. In October 2009, the user base was 50 million. In May 2010, it jumped to 70 million, and now it's about 100 million in about the first half of 2011. It's used in more than 200 countries around the world. More than half come from outside the United States. The top countries using it are the US, India, UK, and Brazil, probably more from a population perspective than anything else. There's some countries who have had very, very strong growth, like Mexico and Brazil, perhaps on small bases though. And among the European countries, the most active are the Netherlands, France, and Italy. The site claims more than 1.3 billion connections have been made amongst its members, and there are executives from all Fortune 500 companies are members of LinkedIn. So if you're looking to link into the Fortune 500 companies and find someone to talk to, all 500 have someone listed in LinkedIn. 61% of LinkedIn people are men. Both users, so users between 25 to 34 and between 35 to 54 represent 36% of the, so each of those two groups is 36% of the total users, and 18 to 24-year-old are about 21%. The most represented industries are high-tech, finance, and manufacturing, while sales, academics, administrative are the most common job functions. Certain things like education, facilities, services, and ranching are among the industries with the fastest year-on-year growth, perhaps again because they started small. And again, just to prove, this is from LinkedIn, that they're not just for business, there are 74 profiles that list an Elvis impersonator as a position, and one person who claims to be a martini whisperer, and perhaps there's even two now, who knows. And here's, just in case you need to use it, here's some pictures and charts of the same information that I just presented. So despite significant growth in subscriber numbers and its international representation, LinkedIn does face some problems with stickiness or how often its members use the service. In a regulatory filing in January 2011, the company indicated a substantial majority of its users visit the site less than once a month, which is a problem for them. So they are hoping to combat this trend with some new services that they've offered, which have been aimed at job seekers and recent grads, as well as news feeds tailored to each industry's user's industries and interests. And I know personally I've found the news feeds to be interesting because they'll send information right to your inbox that tells you, what's kind of happening in your industry for that week or that day, things like that. So you expect to see some changes in LinkedIn, I guess is the point, to get people to come back there more frequently. So how to optimize LinkedIn. The goal is to rank high in a LinkedIn search. So if we're going to search, and I'll go through this in a few minutes, but on the word under people, and we want to find someone who specializes in horses, as an example, you want to come up at the top, or your company wants to come up at the top. If you go to the category of organizations and again search on horses, again you want to come on top for your company. So again, it's all about keywords, having the right keywords in your profile, both for yourself and for your company. And one of the main ways that you will be found, as I said just now, is by people using keywords to help facilitate their search. So a good way to accomplish this is to also look at your skills summary or your technical competency section at the beginning of your resume. And you can organize these kind of however you like, but you should list out the things you can do here, and again, make sure that you focus on your competencies and your keywords in particular, both for yourself and your company. So there's 5 areas to optimize on a LinkedIn profile. Oops. This is that. I just lost that. Hello?
Hi. Oh, I think it froze.
Are you there, Lauren?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. I think it froze, though, for a little bit.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. I don't know. Maybe my computer's a little bit too hot or something. See if I can cool it down a little bit. Okay, can you see the screen as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so great. Okay, so on LinkedIn, there's 5 areas to optimize. You want to optimize your name or your headline, your current work experience, your past work experience, your summary, and your specialties. And again, I'll take you through this in a few minutes. But you want to develop a corporate page, and you want to have new information regularly going through your LinkedIn profile. Again, everything on the internet is given more value when your information is changing and being updated regularly. You want to have a complete profile, including a picture and recommendations, and you want to join at least a few LinkedIn groups and participate, and maybe even create your own LinkedIn group. And then there's a number of add-on features that you want to use as well. So let's look at some of those add-on features. So these are called apps within LinkedIn, and they're basically things that have been created mostly outside of LinkedIn, and then LinkedIn has decided to partner with these companies. So there's one product called SlideShare. It's right here. And SlideShare allows you to share your slide presentations you have created, and it is also a social media networking site. So you can go and put your slides directly into SlideShare and not link it to LinkedIn, or you can decide to link it to LinkedIn. With TripIt, you can announce your travel plans, saying that you're going to this conference, is anyone else going, hope to see you there, that type of thing. You can also do reading lists by Amazon.com, so you can share books you are reading, etc., etc. So let me show you what that looks like live. Okay, so here's a list of all the currently available applications that you can add into LinkedIn. So projects and team spaces, you can get your tweets automatically sent to your profile. If you have expertise in SAP, if you're a real estate professional, if you're a lawyer, again, another Google presentations rather than SlideShare. There's My Travel for TripIt. If you have a WordPress blog, you can bring in your comments straight from your WordPress blog. If you want to read about summaries of books, if you want to bring those in from top experts. If you have a blog that's not WordPress, but you want to bring that in. If you're attending events or organizing events, you can put those in your LinkedIn profile. This is a Company Buzz is a feed that sends information about what people are saying about your company right to your LinkedIn profile or your corporate profile. This allows you to do various polls. Huddle Space allows you to work with other people who are in LinkedIn in a private manner. Boxnet, it allows you to organize your important files online. Creative Portfolio is, again, if you are in advertising or some creatives and you want to have a portfolio of your work. Here's the reading list. Here's SlideShare. Again, here's some more a little specialty, and then this one is again about working together in groups and things like that. So there's lots of different options that you can bring in, and all these kind of help, again, create that energy and flow of information and everything that's happening out there, making it all kind of consistent. So let's just take a quick tour of LinkedIn. Here's my account, so there's my name. If I just go to my home page, you can see here that I'm now being sent those news articles based upon my specialty and my interests. And then here's updates for everybody in my group, what's been happening with them in their lives recently. It also talks about, out of all the organizations I've worked with or belonged to, who's just joined LinkedIn, including old classmates. Here's various polls that people are doing. Here's my WordPress blog being brought in. Here's events, if I want to see what events are happening from the people in my network. Here it's suggesting to me some companies I might want to follow. Here are some groups I might want to join. Here's how many connections I have and how many new people are in my expanded network since yesterday. Here's the number of people who have looked at my profile in the last day, and then how many times I have shown up in search results in the past 3 days. Here's where anyone can advertise to me, and we'll talk about that later. And then here's a suggestion of other people that I might want to link into based upon who I'm already linked into and who I might know. So if I go specifically to my profile and just view it for a second, it has some of the same information, but here's where we're going to talk about the 5 places to optimize. So this is considered your name, and of course, and then this is considered your headline. So you can see I'm trying to optimize for health. So if I just actually did health in here, which I did, I have more than 100 matches on the word health. So I've put health 2 times in my in the description, my headline title, and I've also chosen hospital and healthcare as my specialty. Under my, and then this is one of my blog posts that I've added in, and again, you can see healthcare showing up a number of times. But what I was talking about before is I need to optimize as much as I can my current positions or current things I'm working on or current organizations I belong to, and you can see again I have 4 times that health shows up there, and I need to put in my past experience as many times the words health. I think I need to optimize it a little bit more back there. Then in my summary, and again you can just see the number of times health shows up, I've also optimized for that. And then in my specialties, everyone recommends that specialties just be listed as a list. It's easier to read for people when they're looking for you, and again health shows up a number of times in there. And then as you go through, you'll just see that health shows up all across the board in my profile as I'm going through things. So there we go, more and more health. Okay, so what I've just passed there, oops, went a little bit too far, is I mentioned before that you want to join various groups. So you can see here all the different groups I've joined. So this gives me a chance as I join the different groups to go in and post something if they accept a post, and then do a backlink to my website, or to comment on someone else's post and provide a backlink to my website as well from that perspective. I've also created a couple of groups, and so that way I can control the content, I can control the membership, I can control the promotion, etc., etc. There's also an area for awards and honors, and then here I've used one of the applications and brought in my blog from my website so that people can see that and comment on it quite directly. Again, the same information is over here. Well, this one's a little bit differently. Who has looked at my profile, and what other people have they been looking at? This just starts a list of all my connections, and then this is all my activity. So this is all my activity over the last while. Here's the ads, and if I want to share the profile, I can do that. If I want to ask for recommendations, I can do that. And I've actually started to create my profile in a couple of different languages. You can do that right here by clicking here to create a new profile. I've started it in a few other languages as well. So where your connections area is where you can take all your connections from any other source, like your Yahoo account, your Google account, your Outlook, and you can add in all your connections, and then you can choose to invite them to join you on LinkedIn. If you want to go and look at all the groups, it recommends groups you may like. Let's see if I can go over there for a second. So here's groups it's telling me I might want to join. And that will probably go on forever. Yeah, there's like 5 pages of groups that it's suggesting for me to join. I can also look at the full groups directory, which is, maybe I hit the wrong one. But anyway, it's the full groups directory is very long. If I want to look for a job, there's a place to find jobs. You can post a job, manage a job, et cetera, but I'm not going to focus on that so much today because we're more looking at how to promote an organization. I can look at companies, I can look at the news, and then here's where I can add in the applications. You can see the ones that I've already added to my LinkedIn profile, and I can do some things from that perspective. But let's look at a corporate page. So if I go to companies and I click on my own company, I don't have a lot of information in here right now, but I have my logo, I have a little summary. If I had some job opportunities that were available, I could put it under here in the career section. I have not yet put in anything on my products and services, but I could do that here. And then this tab here gives me analytics on you know, what's happening in for my particular website and how people are looking at it, et cetera, et cetera. But let's look over here, see if I spell this correctly. I want to look up another company, Philips, and see if they have a robust set of information. So here they've got, again, their logo, they've got a backgrounder, they've got a bit more information. Here, this is how many people are either at Philips or have worked at Philips or are in my network, how many people who went to my school who are at Philips, and how many people they have recently hired. Let's see if they have any career opportunities available. So here's their general description, and then they list different jobs that are available and their vision. They have a Simply Healthy School at Schools initiative, so they're focused on the healthcare marketplace, which is great. And then they have some information on their products and services, et cetera, et cetera. So all these sorts of things, and they have, you know, recommendations on their products, et cetera, et cetera. So these are the sorts of things that you can do to build out your presence on LinkedIn so that when people are searching either for a person or searching for your company, that they can create lots and lots of information. So the idea would be is not to do all of this at once, but to constantly be updating it with regular information so that there's always something new, so that when someone goes to the profile for your company or the profile for you, that they see that there's, so I'm back here, so my activity is constantly changing. And so that, because as my activity changes, when I first come into my home page, I see everyone in my network down here and all the changes that they've been making on their profile. So if I constantly see that, you know, this person, Rick Wolf, is doing lots and lots of stuff out there, he'll always pop up. I'll remember his picture. I'll say, oh, I need one of his services, and it will just remind me that he's out there, and then I can go actually to his site and see what's happening, what's going on, what he specializes in, what does he do. He's a strategic planner, a change consultant, etc. Here's a recent blog that he posted, his summary, it's all that kind of stuff. So you just can kind of see everything that Rick's doing that's keeping him very busy and keeping him at the top. He's done a great job. He's got recommendations here. He's got a picture here. So I don't see much about Rick's profile that's missing, which is really great. When you go and participate, so I'm going to go to B2B social media. So here is someone who said 9 simple steps to create new content for your blog. So I can automatically start to comment on his blog, and I can like his blog. I can flag it if there's something inappropriate about it. I can make this like a summary up here, and then I can add more details. I can attach a link back to my website. So in my case, I have 6 social media monitoring mistakes that someone could use, and so maybe I would want to, you know, build on his comment and tell people to go to my website and look for my 6 tips, which are different than his 9 tips. So something like that. So I think. So let me just go back here for a second. So some things to not do in LinkedIn. It's important to make sure that your current title is not boring, so to speak. So let's say your current title is marketing manager. Many people naturally leave that as their headline, but it becomes a like a big error because it says nothing about what you actually do. You should use a headline statement that really describes your expertise and talent, like executive level product strategist or hospitality executive, expertise in franchise operations and change management. And then you can further develop by creating a summary about your career that fully describes your passion for your work, your impact in your company or companies, and your professional focus. People in an open job search actually can map out the kinds of opportunities that they're pursuing next. So how you would apply this for a company is that, you know, let's say the president of the company, in their profile, some of the information should be very much about what the organization does and should lead people back to looking at the company profile, and actually, you know, a good strategy might be for all the people who work for the company to use some of the same terminology and some of the same keywords and some of the same information that will drive people on the internet back to that person's personal profile, which will then lead them right to the company profile. Because when you click on the name Health Connections in mine, it takes you right to the company profile. Another thing that people, as I've kind of mentioned before, is they maintain a passive profile. It's great to fill out an attractive profile, but that's just the beginning. Most people don't take advantage of potential connections that might be available through their existing network. So you should kind of regularly identify and reach out to potential contacts, use status updates to congratulate those contacts on their successes, and consistently review the people you may know section to identify additional connections. So let's say you're a healthcare organization and you see someone else who works at a healthcare organization who either is a feeder to your organization, so they send patients or send people to you, or who you refer to. So a good idea would be to have those people link into you so that you can you know, inform them of more things. You can share your blog information with them. You can, you know, if they just made a presentation at a conference, you can congratulate them on that. It's all that sort of interactivity that's really, really important. One other thing that a lot of people don't do is they don't try out new tools. So as an example, if you join a group and you have a first degree contact, so someone you're directly contacted to in a group, you can gain access to those second or third degree people by posting a comment on something that they might have said, by you posting some information and them commenting on yours and then saying, would you like to link in? So you can get to people that you might not be able to get to normally by doing things like participating in groups. Also things like if you use an app like SlideShare, you can connect with even more people because if someone downloads your slides, then you'll know that they downloaded it and you'll know that they're interested in your topic and your subject. Another area to think about is the fact that you should not just network only when you need something. Basically, you need to kind of give more than you receive, particularly when you're asking for a recommendation. So the best way to get recommendations is to give one first. And I know I've talked to a lot of people that it seems sometimes what happens is someone only starts to use LinkedIn when they're looking for a job rather than using it as a way to promote their business. So that's another thing to try to avoid and not get caught in that trap, so to speak. So I want to go back to the site again. Any questions so far?
No. Sounds
Okay.
great so far.
Okay. So I want to search on this person here. I'm going to change it from groups to people. And because I know he's really great in the sports area. So you can see when I type in sports, it comes up with companies, it comes up with groups, and it comes up with skills. But because I'm under people, if I click the search button, it comes up with people right underneath the first company. So this guy here, Lewis Howe, he's an expert in the sports area. He's also great in LinkedIn and some other things like that. But what you find is that after you make some of the changes that I talked about before, this will help you move up in the ranking of your profile so that you're ahead of Jared Lane, who's also into sports, and you're number one from that perspective. So let's go take a look at Jared for a minute. So really having him be second in the list for sports, it'll help him get more buzz, more sales, more leads, and fundamentally it's not paid advertising. So it's credible and it's perceived as organic and natural that when you search for sports that you'll find him. You also need to have a large network in order to stay on the top of other searches, so that's another really important thing. And I bet you if we go down here, he'll probably have more than 500. I don't see his numbers right off the bat. But I'm sure he's got a very large network. So LinkedIn is really a system, and you need to optimize it all to be able to rank at the top. So if you're just starting out, your goal would be to have over 1,000 connections with quality people. And you could actually probably do this in the first couple of weeks if you're pretty aggressive at bringing in all your other lists that you might have on Outlook and things like that and trying to invite people. Some people question, should you accept an invitation from everyone or should you be selective? A lot of people recommend that you connect with everyone to get your name out there. And again, because it allows you to rank higher in this search engine. What you might want to think about is where you're doing business. So he's doing business in the Nashville area. So if I were to put in here sports in Nashville, I would expect, let's just check, sports, Nashville. Let's see, comes up as number one now. Yeah, he's number one right there. So if you have something that's very localized, either a state, province, or city, you might want to optimize for those words as well, because you want to be really the go-to person or the go-to company in the area that is most important to you. What else? Okay, Google does crawl through these pages and index them, which should help you increase in your ranking on Google as well, both for yourself personally and for your company. So optimizing on LinkedIn is really great and very important because of the fact that the spiders and the bots from Google and the other search engines crawl them as well. I think I mentioned this before, but let's see if he's done it. Having your specialties like this in a vertical format is really helpful. It helps make it easier for people to read. We also know that 100% of people will do research on you online before they spend any money or time with that person in business. So your messages and your LinkedIn profile and what you have online is critical to your success. When someone decides on what they want to buy, when they make a decision about who is going to work with them, they really go to the internet to check you out. And because your profile is what is indexed by Google, you can show and display your expertise here and really shine, so to speak. So let's do a little bit more of an advanced search. So if we go up here to searching and go to advanced. So this is where, like, I went to the people spot and put in sports. But if I put in instead, I don't know, let's put in money. And if you know a particular person, and I just can't remember their last name, so let's say I know a Bob in money, and I want a Bob in Canada, or let's say maybe I don't want a Bob in Canada, but I want someone located in or near a postal code. So I can say, I know a postal code in the U.S. So I'll pick this, United States, and I'll pick this postal code, and I can either go a 10, 50, 35, 10, 25, 35, 50, 75, or 100-mile radius around that postal code. Maybe I want to see a Bob who works in money who's a manager, and either a current or past title. So maybe I want past, not current. Maybe I want past, maybe I want current, or I want both. I'm going to leave the company out for now, and I'm going to leave the school out for now, but you can search on those as well. Then you could go down here and choose, do I want to look in all industries? Do I want to look in all groups? Remember, we looked at groups before, all my groups. Do I want to look at all LinkedIn members across the whole world, or just people that I am connected to? Do I want to look for all languages? And then there's certain functionality that you can get if you buy a premium membership. So you can look at all their functions, like academics versus accounting. You can look by company size. You can look by seniority level, so you can just look at the C level, so CEOs, COOs, CMOs, CTOs, etc., VPs, directors. I can look at anyone based upon what their interests are, whether they're industry experts or whether they're potential employees, their years of experience, and how recently they joined LinkedIn, and whether they're part of Fortune 1000 companies, which is where they get the statistics as well. And then you can sort it by relevance, or whether they're related to you, or whether they're related to you and have any recommendations, whether they're connected to you, or based upon your keywords. I'll just stick with relevance for now. So let's see what we come up with here. We're looking for someone who does money by the name of Bob in the United States in that area with the title of manager. I don't know if it'll show up anything, but we'll see. There you go, pretty common name, Bob. There's actually 209 results. So the question would be, how did this Bob get at the top? Again, I'm sure he's optimized his profile. So let's just click on him. It's Robert, of course, Bob. And he is at the company called the Hartford. And so, again, we can look at the Hartford's information, find out if we like that company, find out if we like their products and services, and then we can decide that we like the company, we like the products and services, so we're going to go back and we're going to give Bob a call because we want to do business with Bob. If I can get back there. And so he's VP Strategic Business Development at the Hartford. He's higher than a manager, so it took everybody higher from a manager and above. And he's got his summaries, his experience, so we can find out whether he's relevant to our business. So this is what people can do when they're looking for you. Is they can look by groups, they can look by geography, they can look by your experience, etc., etc. Okay, so one other thing I want to talk about is your connections. So as you're getting connections, you really want to think about, first of all, importing them from somewhere else. And I mentioned that a little bit before. You want to, if this comes up quickly. But anyway, you can import them from things like Google, from Yahoo, from Microsoft Outlook. You can import them from an Excel spreadsheet. Oops. Okay. Then once you have them in here, what you might want to do is you might want to export your connections. So the little button right down there on the bottom, My Connections, and you can decide how you want to export the information. The one I find the most user-friendly is exporting to a Yahoo CSV file, because I can easily translate that into an Excel file. And then once it's in an Excel file, I can add those names into my email newsletter list that I have separately in some other functionality. So whether you're getting a name from LinkedIn, you should add it to your email list, and then when you get a name for your email list, it's a great way to import up here, which wasn't working for some reason for me, but importing your contacts in and then asking them to join you on LinkedIn so that everyone's kind of connected from that perspective. So that's a great way to build a list quickly and get things moving forward. So kind of a summary would be to optimize your profile, so make sure your profile is optimized. Go and join some groups, which the groups are here. Post links to articles that you like within those groups, looking at either linking to your website or providing backlinks and things like that. And then looking at all different applications, here getting these applications and seeing again how you can create more interesting things going on with your company and yourself within that company so that people are attracted to you, so that when they do either a direct search here for something like money, or they do a more sophisticated search in the advanced search area, that they can easily find you and you come up at the top of the list from that perspective. So before I move on to Facebook, do you have any questions about LinkedIn?
No, I don't have any questions about LinkedIn, actually.
Okay, great. Oh, sorry, one other thing I forgot to show you was advertising on LinkedIn. So we're just going to do that real quick. Advertising on LinkedIn is, again, fairly straightforward. So what you do is you go way down here at the bottom, and you say, I want to do some ads. So I've done some in the past already, so I'm going to manage my ads, or we're going to look at my ads that I've done. And you can see that I'm going to change this because in the last 30 days I haven't done anything. I'm going to look for a custom report of, I think it was around the beginning of April to, say, the beginning of June. Let's see if that's when I did it. Yeah, there you go. So this shows me the clicks that I had. I didn't have a tremendous amount of clicks, but I had, these are the percentage clicks that I had on my ad campaign. And what you can see is I had, this was my test. I didn't actually run this one here. But on this one here, I had an offer. Right now it's off. I had a budget of $10 a day. This is how many people saw my ad, and then I had a click-through rate of 0.02%. So it wasn't all that great on the ad, but what I did do in order to test it, because that's what the slide said is test, 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 is I offered up 6 different versions of my ad. So you can see the picture was always the same in this test that I was doing, but I changed the title. Do you fear social media? Better measure social media. Social media market research. Excuse me, control social media more, and afraid of social media. So you can see here my click-throughs, I only had 13, but out of the 13, I had no click-throughs here, no click-throughs here, 4 here, 3 here, and 6 here. Now they had different impression numbers, so if you look at the percentage, this one here, do you fear social media, had this click-through rate, and social media market research had this click-through rate. So those 2 titles came across as basically the same. And it tells you how much money I spent, about $25 there and $30 there. So I only spent $120 doing this little test, but it was a good experiment. And what I've done is it links to a URL on my website, healthconnections.com, where I'm offering a free report. So order now your 6 social media monitoring mistakes in healthcare. So if you have anything you want to offer people, if you have an ebook, if you have a pamphlet, if you have a consultation, anything that you want to offer people, it's a great way to place an ad out there. You can see that sometimes my ad click-through rates change because I probably made some modifications along the way. And what you do is you choose who you want your ads to go to. So I wanted my ads to rotate fairly evenly. I choose chose all of my target audience of 64,000 people based upon the groups that they were in. I went only to the geography of Canada and the United States. I wanted it to be shown continuously. I only wanted to spend $10 per day. I paid for impressions. I didn't pay for click-throughs. And that's how I kind of set it up. So you can, it's always good to experiment and try different things, and it's very, very easy to do that. As you can see here, I only changed one thing, which was the headline in each thing. If I was going to do it more, I would choose these two ads, and I would probably leave this ad the same and do a different picture, and then use that same picture with this other headline. And so I'd have two versions of this, picture A and picture B, and two versions of this, picture A and picture B. And you can see as I'm going over it, you can either edit it directly or you can just duplicate it. So it's really easy to duplicate it and then change the title, duplicate it and change the picture, etc., etc. So it's pretty straightforward from that perspective. So any questions about that? It was a really quick overview of advertising on LinkedIn and testing.
Nope, sounds good.
Okay. So we did that. Okay, so on to Facebook. So again, in Facebook's perspective, I mean, what you're doing here, I mean, so many people are on Facebook. Everybody probably knows this. The idea here is to share personal information and pictures about one's personal life. You can also research candidates, and people are doing more and more of this. So a lot of people are actually not getting jobs or losing jobs. It's not the traditional place to go and research candidates, but it is a cautionary note about making sure that your Facebook, whatever is visible to the world, is something that you feel wouldn't make you lose a job opportunity. You can get backlinks again in Facebook via commenting and posting a link. It's also a repository for your tweets, etc., etc. And you can advertise to users a bit differently here, more based upon their personal preferences and things that they've liked. So another great advertising source as well. So again, what are the facts on Facebook? I just pulled this from something. It's, as of 2011, there were 500 million active Facebook users, approximately 1 in every 13 people on the planet. Half of them are logged in on any given day. 48% of 18 to 34-year-olds check Facebook right when they wake up. About 28% of them check their Facebook on their smartphones before even getting out of bed. The 35-plus demographic now represents more than 30% of the entire user database. And the 18 to 24 college demographic grew the fastest at 74% in just 1 year. Liking things like drugs, which is, again, a health thing, is up about 1,132%, so I guess it wasn't very popular before. But there are 206.2 million Internet users in the U.S., and that means 71.2% of the U.S. web audience is on Facebook. About 70% of the Facebook user base resides outside the U.S., though. Facebook was the most searched term in 2010 for the second year running, accounting for 2.1% of U.S. searches. Facebook login and Facebook.com were the second and fifth most popular U.S. search terms in 2010, respectively. Combined, Facebook-related searches accounted for 3.5% of the top 50 searches of 2010, which was a 207% jump from 2009. 57% of people talk to people more online than they do in real life. 48% of young Americans said that they find out their news through Facebook. And a record-breaking 750 million photos were uploaded to Facebook over New Year's weekend alone, just right then. So I hopefully their servers didn't crash. So what does 20 minutes on Facebook look like? There's 1 million links shared. There's 1.5 million event invites. Nearly 2 million friend requests accepted, photos uploaded 2.7 million, messages sent 2.7 million, tagged photos 1.3 million, status updates 1.9 million, wall posts 1.6 million, and comments made over 10 million. When we look at relationships, which is a little bit better on this next page, 43 million people said they're single, 37 million said they're married, almost 6 million engaged, 3 million is complicated, and 28 million in a relationship. So again, I know that in your case, we're looking at people who are going to be having children. So you might not want to choose single people or engaged, although sometimes they have children, but married would be a lot better category in order to target an advertisement or make sure that you were targeting them to join your Facebook page, something like that. So how to optimize Facebook. The goal is to get lots of likes because then again you get ranked higher. There's many areas to optimize. You have the opportunity here again to develop a corporate page. Again, you need to have new information regularly, but different types of information, and you need to use the relevant add-on features. And I would suggest here that you look at other sites that you like, and I'll show you where to look at those other sites and see what they're using as their add-on features, and that way you can get an idea of how they're using it, where they're using it, and how you might want to use it going forward. I wanted to show you this real quick. I'm not going to take us through it right now, but there's a great intro on how to set up Facebook. Which I'll just start here, and I really loved it because it really speaks to, it's a user talking about how to set up Facebook, and to me more than anything else it just showed the different audience demographic. So let's see if I can get it to run. Oops, there we go. It's not liking me at the moment. Let me just go back in here and
Don, do you mind if I just run to the washroom really quick?
Pardon?
Do you mind if I just run to the bathroom really quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
Okay, great. Okay, so while she's doing that, I'm going to play this audio for everyone else who, or video, watches it lately.
Hi, I'm back. Sorry.
Okay, that's great. Anyway, I really like this guy and how he describes everything, and he just, to me, was just really, really perfect. So you can watch it later, and for those who are listening to this after the fact, there's the website link right there. Okay, so let's do a quick overview on, oops, wrong way, on Facebook. Okay, so here's my Facebook account. So we can see here that the upper section of a member profile contains the profile picture. So there's my profile picture and an application sidebar. So this is where you're going to be looking for all the different applications. Your Facebook profile is basically the web page other members will see if they look you up. It gives people an idea about who you are and what your interests include. Facebook assumes that many of the people with whom you want to connect work for the same company, went to the same school, or live in the same town as you. To make it easier to find friends, both old and new, Facebook gathers information about you and everyone else to create a dense network of contacts. The upside is that you'll be able to see old classmates or coworkers who have Facebook accounts. The downside is that everyone else in that network will be able to find you too. You can choose not to answer questions or to adjust privacy settings so that others can't find you, but that tends to defeat the purpose of the networking site. And just to make sure we take a look at that, your privacy settings are right here, and that's a really important area to look at, particularly if there's stuff that you don't want the world to know about that you've already put on your Facebook account. Your unmodified profile has a space where you can upload that profile picture. So you can upload photos here. You have a friends section over here which displays pictures of Facebook members you've befriended. A section that shows the personal information you decided to share with other members. So if I go over here to my base file, you can see where I went to school, where I live, when the date I was born. I can add my current work information if I want to, or my hometown, and I would edit the profile right there. So as I said, this can include your birthday, work history, education, and interests. There's going back here for a second. There's a news feature where you can get messages. You can find out about events that other people in your network are organizing, and what your friends are doing and saying that they haven't posted directly to your wall. So if we go back to the profile second, on my wall, it's things people have posted to me. On the side are my friends. Over here are the invitations. Again, here's people or organizations that I know, and then here's something which we'll get back to the advertising layer on Facebook and using that as well. There's also the idea of a poke. So if I go to someone else, here's a friend of mine, and poke this person just to kind of say hi. Some people have said that poking means that you're flirting, but really Facebook says it doesn't mean anything. It just means you're saying hi. So I'm just going to poke him and see what he does on. And then I'll go back to my own profile. Okay. There's also an instant messaging function. You can go online and be able to instantly message people. That kind of disappears. It does stay on the wall and things like that after you leave that space. So I'm just going to go back here for a second. Okay. So the most important thing from a business perspective is to create a separate page, but every page that's set up for a business needs to be linked to a person. So you, again, need to choose, like, for instance, the head of the organization or the head of marketing or something like that. So you create a page, and the link is located, which I'll go back to in a few minutes, at the bottom of the Facebook page. Here for the company, you can post photos, videos, texts, and discussions on your page. This way you make a separate compartment solely for business-related discussions, and you can keep everything different from your Facebook account. You can still invite your friends or other people on Facebook to become your fans of your company, but fans and friends are different. Your fans, they get an individualized update which is not shown in your official site, and you'll only receive news feeds from sites where you're also a fan. There are, like I said, there's many applications that you can use to promote your business. There's cool tools and applications that are being developed by all kinds of companies that are basically added to Facebook for free most of the time, that you can use to, like, couponing things, or liking, like pages to put on a like button, things like that. And really what you want to do is you want to use Facebook pages to link back to your main business website, if you have one, or any other sites you want to promote, unless Facebook becomes your main business promotion place, which some people also do that. By setting up a Facebook page on a marketer across the web, you'll be able to segregate your individual life from your business matters, but more than that, you get to maximize the traffic that you can possibly draw from Facebook, which is just great. So let's look at, I think I want to look at some examples next. Yep, that's what I want to do. So I'm going to go to this website. I'm going to type in health again, and of course I come up first. I've created a Health Connections page. It's very, very simple right now, so I'm just going to go to more content or more interesting. This one was interesting because really what someone has just done is pulled the Wikipedia definition of health right into a Facebook. I'm not really sure why. because it doesn't really seem like much is happening here. But, oops, sorry. But there we go, and has decided to use this. And in this case, we actually have almost 400,000 people who have liked this page. So I guess because it doesn't have a bias or anything, it's just exactly what Wikipedia has to offer. But if I go back to health again, what I want to do, I want to show you the website of the gentleman poked. This is my website. It's called NutriBasic. It's an online tool to help you manage the food that you eat. It gives you a nutritional profile. It can be used for either chronic disease management or trying to lose weight, etc. When we look at his wall, he's got a lot of information here, how, here overweight is the new normal, and then it looks like he's put some links back to his website, which is really great. Here's a self-management care model. He talks about outcome-based solutions in reducing employee healthcare costs, et cetera, et cetera. He has some comments. Here's a comment from someone. Here's a comment from someone. But I wanted to show you another website. So his product's great, but I'm not sure he's choosing Facebook as his main promotional area. I want to look at some more results for health and find this other one that I found. Here it is. I really like this one here for the activity they're having on their Facebook page. So in this case, they have here the Adventures of Small Action Man, and so they've actually added a video. But what I was really liking that they did wasn't even so much their video, but when I go to their wall, is what they've done is they look like they're having a lot of events. So here they have do you live in Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, or Alabama, and use this product by Me You Health, right? So what they are doing is they're asking people to share their stories. So as the people are sharing stories, they're also posting pictures on what they're doing. So here's an event that happened in Boston, and I would say probably the company added these pictures here. The 23 people liked this. They have 5 comments on that. But then what they also are doing, which I thought was really great, is here, what is one place near your home or work that you consider to be a healthy place to eat? So you have 18 comments, 18 people giving an answer to that question. They had another question here. What mini breaks do you take during your workday that positively impact your well-being? Here they have 20 comments. So they're creating a reason for people to come back. Here, I love this one. Were you ever in a marching band? If so, what instrument or role did you play? So again, an exercise tip. And I love that one here, 21 comments. So I look at them and I say they're taking the fact that they're health and diet focused and creating some interesting content and reasons to come back by both their pictures and by the little questions that they're asking that are related to a healthier life and things like that. Another example which isn't health, which I just wanted to share for a minute, is this organization here. They produce prefabricated buildings that you can use for all different reasons. So they are a manufacturer of prefabricated steel buildings. Steelmaster was initially hesitant to get involved in social media. What I do like that they're doing now is they actually have this encouragement to like them, so that they'll get more people, more likes, and they'll get higher up in the ranking. And here they have 10,481 people who like them. But if we go to their wall, so the director of marketing there, her name is Michelle Wickham, or was Michelle Wickham. I'm not sure if she's still in place. But anyway, her initial thoughts were, wow, it's steel buildings. How is that going to tie to Facebook? It doesn't make a lot of sense. But when she looked at the growth in Facebook and social media, she kind of felt she had to get her arms around it. So what she did was, as she put her first toes into the social media water, she discovered 2 important applications for her business. First, they found that Facebook is an excellent way to post pictures of customers' steel buildings. So you can see, different people and what they're doing. And what they also do is I think this one is a part of the construction. They're asking people to show the construction process. So take, like day 1 picture, day 2 picture, day 3 picture. And it then also demonstrates to prospective customers the range of usages for their Steelmaster buildings. So it's really giving them exposure and creating demand in specific verticals where maybe previously it didn't have as much traction. So for instance, maybe normally if people felt very comfortable in one industry, they found that, for instance, now chicken farmers and woodworkers who don't typically think to use steel buildings, but when friends and colleagues were sharing their pictures of their buildings on Twitter and Facebook, the farmers and woodworkers kind of became interested. So, maybe in your case, maybe people sending in pictures of their baby at 6 weeks or something like that and saying, yes, I got the test that I was supposed to get for my baby, and, I'm so happy, and, and then you could ask questions about, how it's going with their new baby and what are people doing and things like that. So it's kind of a great way to look at things and how you can grow. So just a real quick look at how you would add a page. So this is, again, my page. And down here to create a page. So if I wanted to create a new page, I have another organization that I've started up recently, which is actually a not-for-profit organization. So I'm going to choose a cause or community. You can choose a brand or product, company, organization, or institution, local business or place, an artist, band, or public figure, or entertainment. I'm going to choose cause or community. And the name of this is 1 Million Solutions in Health. And do I agree to the Facebook? It's a good idea to read that before you click, but I've read it already, so I'm going to click it and I'm going to get started. So it put me in other and it put me in community. I don't know if I want to be in other. I'm going to switch it for now and put it to companies and organizations. Okay, so here if I had an image to upload, I could upload the image right now. I can invite my friends to join the page. I can tell my fans about it. I can post status updates. I can promote this page on my website by adding a like box, and I can hook it to my mobile phone. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to try to edit the page. And the one thing I want to focus on right here, which is really cool, I think it's here. Well, first of all, I want to block all profanity. So put the profanity as high. And I'm going to go to this one app that I know of. It's called Static, HTML iframe tabs. And I'm going to add this app to my page. Oh, sorry, I have to go back to the page. Okay, let's just get there this way. 1 million. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go there. And edit the page. I can't really find it what I'm looking for here. But there's the app that I tried to show you a minute ago. Here it is, apps. I haven't added it yet. I want to add the app on static. There we go. Go to app. That's what I wrong. There we go. There we go. So I want to create a page, and I'm going to just pull some content from somewhere else. So if I don't have that web page created yet, but if you have contents from another web page, you can just use this app to dump in your HTML copy right here, and it will then automatically add it as your Facebook welcome page. So it's a really great new feature that those two developers that you saw a minute ago have used to add in easily from another website and what I had typed in before, just to type it in again, is static HTML iframes. It gives you this nice open box that if you went to your website page, so if I go to a website page from my website and I right-click on there and view my source, and then so my source code would be here. If I then just select all of this and then edit and copy, and then I put it into the Facebook page right here, edit, paste, it will all come up automatically in my Facebook profile from company. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want Health Connections to be part of 1 Million Solutions in Health, but that's a great way to do things really quickly and not have to learn the HTML code in order to do things perspective. So we're going to just take a real quick look at Facebook advertising. You see those ads looking at basically reaching your target customers. You can deepen your relationships, and you can also control your budget. So if we create an ad for a minute. So it's defaulted to my Health Connections site and a Facebook ad. If I wanted to just take copy, I could create my own copy. So I can say write a title. So I'm going to write a title. 6, oops. Okay, we'll move to the body then. Okay, well, one of the things I want to change first, even before I put in the title, is I want to link to my own website. So I want to go to an external URL. I don't want to go to my Facebook page in this case. So I can put in the URL that I want it to go to, and I want it to link to my home page, healthconnections.com. So it can actually suggest an advertisement for me based upon what's on my page already. So it's pulled in a picture and it's pulled in my tagline, but I want to change it a bit, and I want to say 6 social media tips, and the body would be download our free report to help you succeed in a changing healthcare environment with social media tips. Okay, so there's my ad already previewed right there, and I continue to move forward. Where do I want my ad to show? Everywhere. I want to show Canada and the United States. I want it to be anyone over 18, all sexes. Do I have any precise interests? So maybe I want it to go to the pharmaceutical industry. And you can see that right now I'm going to send it to 151 million people, but once I go to the pharmaceutical industry, it'll narrow my group to something more reasonable. We'll let it work there for a minute. I want it here, 9,000 people. I want it to go to anyone. I want it to go to men and women. Doesn't matter what the relationship is. Maybe I want it to go to people who only speak English. Maybe I only want it to go to people who are a college grad. I don't really care about a specific college or a specific major. I don't really care about a specific company at the moment, so I'm just going to continue on. And then I can set my budget. I want to spend $50 a day. The least I can spend is $1 a day, $1 a day. So maybe I'll spend $10 a day. And then either I want to run it continuously, or do I want to start a specific start and stop time. So I'm going to say, you know, I want a specific start and stop time. That might take a little longer to do. So let's just leave it at that. And now I want to review the ad. So here's my ad. Here's my ad name. Here's the audience I've chosen. I've said no more than $10 US per day. It'll run indefinitely. And now I can place my order giving my credit card, or I can change the ad or change, you know, I would never want to run it indefinitely, I don't think. I would want to put some limitations on it. So a couple of tips for choosing some of the criteria in your audience is when you to place perhaps maybe specific job titles into the likes and interests field. This way anyone who has mentioned their job title in their profile is now a potential recipient of your ad. Go big and broad with the job titles. Facebook doesn't care how many you put in there. They will go find you the profiles that contain them nonetheless. So maybe you want to put in mother, maybe you want to put in a disease, maybe you want to put in, you know, a newborn, or maybe you want to put in a chiropractor, whatever it might be the case. Maybe put in the top 20 companies you want to target into the workplaces field. Facebook, unlike Google, works off the or operand and not the and, so it'll take all the companies you put in. You can use this to your advantage by placing as many of the companies you want to target into the workplaces field and thereby target the employees of all of those firms. You can run your Facebook ads using friends of your page. So if you want to widen your fan base, why not try targeting friends of the people you already like, who already like your page? If they are friends, perhaps they share a common interest, and one of those interests could be your company. Best of all, when it appears inside the ad, it will personally name your friends who already like your page, giving it the credibility and hopefully the likability that you're looking for. So just some tips right there. Okay, so driving traffic on Facebook. I don't think just a few more slides and then we're wrapped up. So you need to import your email list and invite them to visit basically your Facebook page and your LinkedIn pages. So all of this that I'm going to say applies to LinkedIn as well. You need to suggest to your Facebook friends that they visit your new Facebook page. You need to add a like box to your blog or other website pages. You need to post about your page on your wall. So on your personal wall, you need to post about your corporate page. You should ask your friends to share your page. You should visit groups and other pages and interact as your own page rather than your own person. But as we kind of looked at, one of the quickest ways to drive traffic to your page is through Facebook advertising. Again, just as before, you should test. I didn't actually do a test in Facebook just there. I just set up one basic one to show you how to use it. But these are a bunch of really big companies who are all using Facebook advertising, and they're doing tons of testing, I know. So one question might be the reverse, is once you've got names into Facebook or LinkedIn, how do you download from each of these and add the names and emails, at least the names and emails, to your newsletter campaign? We already looked at how you do it from LinkedIn. Facebook kind of blocks you from doing it, but there are some, if you go to Google and you look at there are some workarounds. So here's one, how to export email addresses of all your Facebook friends. They don't really technically allow you to do this directly, so you have to find a way to do it indirectly if that's what you want to do. So how to stay top of mind as an expert, just to summarize, develop, again, a publication plan. What will you write about in LinkedIn? What will you write about in Facebook? Where will you link back to on your website with what keywords? What's the frequency of your LinkedIn and Facebook publications versus other communications that you may be doing? And so some homework would be in both Facebook and LinkedIn, create a basic account from a person and then create the corporate pages for the company. Identify perhaps 5 LinkedIn groups to join and post a blog, and identify all the above, you know, like where your communication strategy for both Facebook and LinkedIn. So a summary would be that LinkedIn, Facebook, and all social media tools, oops, a little spelling error there, are giving away services for free to create value for the users. The users are you and related businesses, for example, in LinkedIn, employers and recruiters, and then advertisers. And also then your organization to use LinkedIn and Facebook for search engine optimization. Build from your main website and other content with tool-specific content. So we looked at how the content you might have on LinkedIn is very different than the content you might have on Facebook. Decide what you will do and kind of where you will do it. And then develop an editorial schedule and frequency. So any questions? Sorry that one went a bit long, but hopefully it was useful and valuable.
Yeah, no, it's great. I do have one question about Facebook. Hold on, I'm just going to mute. I'm working on a photo contest that I'm running through Facebook.
Great.
But I know that the rules using Facebook sort of don't allow you to run a contest that where you can win prizes and whatnot, and you have to use a third-party application in order to sort of run a contest on Facebook. And I was wondering if you had any recommendations or if you knew about any of the rules and guidelines with regards to doing something like that on Facebook.
Yeah, I've seen some companies who do run contests as long as they have the proper disclaimers. I think it'll be a little bit long of an answer, and I probably should get a little bit more background for you. So why don't I do a little bit of research, and I'll get back to you and send you about the rules and how and the tools to run contests on Facebook, because lots of people are doing them, and you just got to make sure you follow all the rules. So
exactly, I found one helpful tool. Let me see if I can find it right now. It was from, and I'm not sure if this is a credible website. That's why I want to run it by you. So let me just pull it up really fast. My computer is very slow.
Yeah, mine was pretty slow today too. I think it's too hot.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening here, but let's see.
Well, I'll stop the recording here just so.
Yeah.